This live martial arts class, you're gonna learn how to train with nunchucks or nunchaku like Mighty Guy in the Naruto films or TV shows or cartoon books, manga, whatever it is. However you find them, however you consume them. This is how you train like Mighty Guy. You're gonna start with a basic up and down move. This is a strike, a fighting strike. You can use this for self-defense. That's basically what it is. You're coming down on top of the head. You're using the power of this chuck right on top. Maybe they're reaching out to grab, smashing the hand. And you're just gonna go up and down as a warm-up move. So you're getting both the striking motion and the warm-up motion all at the same time. This can become almost, you can put these together in flow, which we're gonna do toward the end. We're talking about flow or freestyle with your nunchucks so that you can make this more of a workout. This becomes a cardio workout or a cardiovascular workout. This first strike is up and down for 30 seconds and then put it in your other hand. You're holding here in the middle as you warm up. I'm gonna talk about where you hold it to fight. If you wanna fight like Mighty Guy in the Naruto franchise, up and down. And this is a heavier pair of nunchucks. These are fighting nunchucks. These are self-defense nunchucks. These are extremely heavy. They're very hard. They're made out of aluminum, and they will bite you. When you make a mistake, you're gonna feel it really quickly. These are also the longer string or the longer chain. I'm going to show you this because you asked me last time, what's the difference between a speed chuck, speed meaning faster. These are more for show and for tricks. This is more for self-defense fight. That means this length, when you swing this through the air and you strike for self-defense to fight like Mighty Guy in Naruto or maybe Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee has the exact same moves. If you watch the Naruto, and I'm gonna try to pronounce it right, but I know I'm not, right? But you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen those manga, those cartoons, you know the character. Hopefully they'll make a live action show soon. But Bruce Lee does all the same moves. This is the basic warm up, but this is also a striking motion. I'm doing it to the side so I don't hit myself, but if I were striking for self-defense, you just bring this straight down the middle. Think of it just as a vertical strike. So you can tell yourself vertical strike, 30 seconds here, I already did 30 seconds here, and then go back to the first hand, bring it to your shoulder, and I want you to come all the way across. Think of going through the temple to the cheek for self-defense. This is a basic fighting move for self-defense. This fighting move is a diagonal strike. You can think of going from shoulder to hip. You can hear it's getting me winded. So this starts to become more of a workout because I'm using, again, heavier nunchucks with a longer chain or a longer string, and it becomes a harder, stronger strike. Now look where I'm holding. I start the warm up here, but very quickly I'm gonna move my hand down to the end. And the reason that you put your hand here instead of here or here, start with wood. Start with wood and a string. Make your own. Go to the store, buy a stick, cut it in half twice. Make 2 pair. In the middle of the string, that wood, you're gonna drill. Just drill a hole there, drill a hole in the other one, loop the rope, go through here, back to here, 3 times, tie it off, and then you've got a pair. I made my first nunchucks. You can make your first nunchucks. If you wanna buy them, go to the link below. I put a link down there. There are many styles in there. Just if you're not a little kid, don't go for foam. Go for wood or go for metal. Wood's better to start with. I like the feel of wood too. But go for wood. I forgot we were on this diagonal strike. And that wood is gonna be heavy enough that when you hit yourself, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but you're not gonna kill yourself. These metal ones, you can give yourself a serious injury if you're not paying attention, which is hard for me because when I make these videos, I'm not always thinking about this as much as I should be because I'm thinking about what you're saying. Anyway, focus. My point is, when you have a wood or metal and it hits you, you learn faster. Hello, it's good to see you. Because when you see them, or when you hit yourself with them, then it says, wake up, pay attention. So that's why I like them so much. As a training tool for focus. It also teaches you timing and distance, spatial awareness, where your body is and exists in time. Yes, I do remember. I remember you saying that you saw me. It's good to see you. Just across. This is like if you like that Naruto. I have to say Naruto like that, just to get it right. I can't get it right. I know I'm going to get in the comment section later. Oh, you're not saying it right, which is okay. Because I know how to make the moves. I know how to do the training. I know how to teach you how to be like Mighty Guy from that TV show. Or if you want to be like Bruce Lee, same moves Bruce Lee does. Same moves the Ninja Turtles do. All these moves are pretty basic. They're pretty simple. But you have to learn how to do them with focus and intensity of movement, action. You gotta be fast. You gotta move explosively, hit hard, for self-defense especially. All right, so we did 2 strikes so far. We did this one up and down, 30 seconds per hand. Then we did this, 30 seconds per hand. The next one is just straight across and back. These are all warm-ups. And if you do these with a heavy enough pair of chucks, and you start to go really fast, then you will get your heart rate up. This is now gonna become a cardiovascular workout. And see where I'm holding it? I'm holding here for maximum leverage. That means I'm gonna hit harder, faster because I'm holding it here. When I hold more in the middle, that is more for tricks, right? For doing tricks. And then when I hold here toward the top, toward the chain or the string, that's more for speed. So know why you're holding where. This is for self-defense fighting. This is for tricks. This is for tricks and speed. Thank you. Wow, John, extremely generous, man. I really appreciate that. That really helps. That'll pay for some of the lights, for sure. I haven't paid the electric bill this month. I've been waiting. All right, so bringing it across and back. Cross and back, this is your 3rd strike. Notice I'm getting this hand up and out of the way. Now, all of these strikes can be done at different levels. For self-defense, I can strike up here to the head. I can strike down to the knees, to the body to try to keep them back. Awesome, I'm awesome today. I hope everybody else is doing fantastic. Yes, I like wooden chain too. From here, I can go to the body, and then that strike, I can go to the head. Maybe they've got the knife in their hand, they're coming for me for self-defense. Step to the side, I go straight down, and now my target is the middle and not the head. Maybe it's that vicious dog, and the strike is down. The point is, it doesn't matter where you do it. You can do horizontal low, horizontal middle, horizontal high, and you can mix it up. But 30 seconds per hand. 30 seconds on the other hand, coming straight across and back, creating distance between you and the attack for self-defense. And whether you're fighting and you want to learn how to do it in a TV show, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I'll do that for sure. Ninja Turtles, Bruce Lee, Mighty Guy from Naruto, and I think Mighty Guy had a little sidekick or something. Can't remember that guy's name in that Naruto. Anytime you see nunchucks, all the moves are pretty much the same. I just showed you the 3 warm-up strikes, and I want you to do that. It's good to see you from Quebec. Across the body, the angles, up and down, vertical, and then that horizontal strike. And that's your warm-up. Now we're gonna talk about the spins, because that's really the cool part, right? But I wanted you to see right away how to fight, how to defend with a pair of nunchucks and where to hold them. Now, for the warm-up spin, I'm gonna hold in the middle, and my thumb, or my palm is gonna face the sky. The string, or the chain in this case, is gonna come out my thumb side, and I'm gonna crank forward. This small cranking circular motion is what gets the chucks moving in what's called an orbital. I'm making an orbital, so it's orbiting around the outside of my body, or my shoulder in this case, or my wrist. And then I'm gonna turn the palm down, and the orbital comes on the inside. I just hit myself again. Those really hurt. Yeah, Rock Lee, yes, thank you, Rock Lee. I don't know why I couldn't think of Rock Lee. Palm up. Mighty Guy's like the big dude like me, right? And then Rock Lee's like the small, fast assassin ninja for self-defense. Palm up. It's a cartoon. It's manga. It's for fun, right? Palm down, palm up, palm down. You put them together, and now you're doing your figure eight. Hey, your being here is what I appreciate. I really appreciate John's donation, but if you don't donate, you can't donate, that's fine. Just practice. practice. That's why I do it. I want it students. I want you guys to learn. I don't care if you give me money or not. I appreciate it when you do, though. In addition to me, yeah, who's hit themselves in the skull about 1,000 times since they were a kid, right? So, but you're just going down and back, down and back. I like to think of it as slap across the face for self-defense, slapping the face, and then backhand for self-defense. So I'm coming in and back, in and back. You go a little faster. That's your basic figure eight spin. This is figure eight spin sideways, or also known as, that's carving the infinity sign, which is why this is also known as an endless spin. Now, you can also do the figure eight to the side. So it looks like this. And the reason that you would do this is to work on the development of your shoulder and getting stronger shoulders. It also teaches you more about spatial awareness, right? And then when you start to go into your flow arts, or you start to do cardiovascular, freestyle, or whatever you want to call it, then you're able to do a lot more moves. Because from here, you can then go behind your back, and like you were saying before, show under the arm, and then pop like Bruce Lee. Like I said, we're gonna do that one. All right, yeah, it's instant feedback. I like to call it a focus increaser. It increases your focus immediately. It's like as soon as you hit yourself in the head. And then if someone's watching, you have to act like you didn't do it, right? Or you did it on purpose. At least you have to try not to cry when you want to. And not that there's anything wrong with crying, but you get my point. You weren't trying to whack yourself in the head. You don't want to just drop them and run back home. Take your lumps, get used to it. A little bit of pain is all right. So you're going down and back. That figure eight, I did them in both hands. Now I go back to the first hand, palm up, string side coming out of the thumb, facing the sky, and I'm gonna pull it in this time. Now the first time I cranked it out, so now I just reverse it. Now this is a reverse orbital. And the camera's high, so I'm holding them all up high, but you can do them all down here too. You can do them in different positions. You can practice up here. And then when you go into your figure eight, you keep it up. Now look at my arm. And this is it's important on the first one, but it's more important now. See how my elbow's extended? When I turn that palm over and I start to pull that back, if that elbow is bent, that comes in here. It's gonna hit me immediately. And that hurts. And you don't wanna do that if you don't have to. So from here, you're gonna turn it over, palm down. But when you do that, or I should say, and when you do it, make sure that that elbow, yeah, is straight. It's funny, I started when I was a kid. Our first pair came from a backyard fight that my parents didn't know about. And we were kids, you know. There was a kid in the neighborhood, he had made a pair. And there was rumors in the neighborhood that the kid was gonna beat us up with his buddy. And I had 4 brothers, and we were always in the middle of everything. We were good kids, right? Yeah. I've seen the guy doing single nunchuck, not double, but I hit myself. You always hit yourself more on double nunchuck. But doing the single nunchuck in a parade, 4th of July parade, walked right in front of the mayor's reviewing stand and hit himself so hard right here. It was almost like it was on purpose. It looked like a TV show. The blood starts to come out. He fell to the ground on the curb and kind of fell back. He did knock himself out, but I think it was just the shock and surprise was so much for him. And then the paramedics are sitting there sewing up his forehead. And not from a martial arts school that I was associated with. He was well known in the community as perhaps having exaggerated his skill and ability. He was one of those self-promoted 10th degree Soki founder, gold belt kind of people. All right, palm down, cranking it in, palm up, cranking it out. The point is keep your elbow straight. If you bend your elbow, you're gonna hit yourself. So some basic things you can do to learn not to hit yourself. You put those together, and now you're doing that reverse. Now these are all like deflecting strikes, right? They're coming in, that hand's trying to punch, stab you, grab your neck, and then you whack it out of the way. Now, sometimes you ask me, how do you do these strikes without hurting yourself, especially like smashing your own hand or arm, like if you're hitting against a bag or something. And the key is the follow through of the strike. if I hit here, I'm trying to, so you can see me. See how that pops back? I don't know if you saw it hit my hand. We can make a slow motion to zoom in. You just have to take my word for it. If I go in, I strike and stop, it hits my hand. If I follow through, when I strike, it's not going to hit my hand. So that's the answer to that question. That question is asked almost every time. How do you do the strike so it doesn't smash your own fingers? And that is follow through with the strike. The second thing is, especially if you're going down, like on that first strike, you can see it without hitting the wall. I pop my hand open a little bit. If I leave it closed, it's gonna come smash me. If I open it, just that little motion changes the kinetic energy, and then it usually swings it past. And it's like a break. You can see, I open my palm, and that's all I did when I went down. So you can practice that, just up and down, adding that in. Now let's get back to Bruce Lee moves, or Mighty Guy moves, or Rock Lee moves, okay? So we have this outer orbital, you know this one. You're gonna do 2 of those and then pop it in under your armpit. Now this looks super complicated, it really, really is not. What it is, it's that warm-up move. We did this from the very start. This is the first thing you learned after the basic strikes. So you're gonna do 2 of those. 1, 2, and then you turn your hand in, and wherever you point this, that's where this has to go. And you're gonna have to remember that. I'm gonna tell you more about why that's important when we talk about smashing your head. Point this to your armpit. If you point that to your armpit, it has to swing there, and then all you do is close it and squeeze. The purpose of squeezing is to create tension on the chain. When you open this, that tension is released, and that comes flying out like a rubber band and hits for self-defense the other person. Bruce Lee did it a lot. I've seen it in the Naruto with Mighty Guy, Rock Lee, and you know, if you watch like almost all of the moves that those guys are doing in this, and they're going back and forth and hand to hand, and they're reversing it, and then they're doing this and they're doing that. Bruce Lee did it in all his movies. The Ninja Turtles do it, so it's all the same moves. You just have to practice the basics. So again, 1, 2, turn it in. And then it's all about timing and overcoming. The very first few times you do it, you're gonna think you're gonna hurt yourself when you do that for some reason. And I did. That's why I said you're gonna do it. I did it, so you might do it. But what's gonna happen is, because it's running into your arm, and all of the energy is mostly gone, you're not gonna hurt yourself at all. So you're gonna spin 1, 2, under. And it's a matter of timing, so you have to practice. You might not get it. First couple times, 1, 2, it might, 1, 2, you might not get it. By the 10th time or the 15th or the 100th time, just don't give up. You'll get there and faster than you realize. You get it, tension, squeeze, pop, right? 1, 2, tension, pop. And then the other, also notice when I bring it out, it's a little bit at an angle. If I bring it from here and I bring it straight out, look where it has to go. It has to go into my knuckles. I turn it a little bit, and now it clears my knuckles. That's just a little trick. You'll learn that one. That's almost instinctive. But I wanted to show you in case it's not for you. 2 circles, and then under. Squeezing, squeezing, release. 1, 2, 3. Notice that this hand stays up. That's just a guard. That's common sense. That's a good habit to get into. Pop. 1, 2, 3. Strike. You want to practice each move for 30 seconds till we get to the end. And at the end, we're going to weave them together and do what's called freestyle. And freestyle allows you to get the heart rate up and allows you to really figure a lot of things out and learn how to fight more naturally. And then maybe you like to go to Comic-Con or Manga-Con or whatever it's called, or whatever, Bruce Lee Con. I don't know if there's a Bruce Lee Con, but there should be. And you want to dress up like your favorite Mighty Guy or Rock Lee. Which Ninja Turtle does this one? Michelangelo's the staff, right? I don't remember. I don't know. You guys know. One of the Ninja Turtles does this, pops it. You can dress up like that dude, and then you're out there fighting with them. And there are female characters also that fight with a lot of these. All right, so let's talk about the hand pass, going from one hand to the other. I'm going to show you 2 ways. I'm going to show you the easier way, but it's going to look harder. Michelangelo's Chuck. Okay, thanks. Awesome. It depends. Depends on what you have. Depends on which wood, which speed. Let me show you real quick. Oh, Fumio Demura is the #1 guy to add the list, by the way. Put him first above mine. I'll be the first to say that. Fumio Demura, it's so funny you said that because I haven't thought about him for a while. And I always look at titles that other people do just so I can get the most people to view these so we can grow this channel. And Fumio Demura popped up and I thought, this guy, and I know he's been ill lately, but he should get all the accolades and all the kudos, and everybody should be following him before they follow a lot of the rest of us. But if you ever meet any of these guys, they'll tell you sometimes, they resisted it. All of us resisted it. I didn't resist it. I love this medium for years. I've been on YouTube since 2006, but only serious in the last 4 or 5 years. But a lot of people were like, oh, nobody's ever gonna wanna learn martial arts online. That's just a waste of time. And then COVID hit. And then they're all doing Zoom calls. And so all of the old guys, maybe Fumio Demura, maybe he doesn't, he won't have time to come back and do that, right? Yeah, Dan Inosanto. Dan Inosanto taught Bruce Lee. If you watch the movies, I'm glad you said Dan Inosanto. Dan Inosanto is an actor, in addition to being an amazing guru and martial arts master, especially in the Filipino styles, the FMA martial arts, Kali Salat, and then, all those other, Jeet Kune Do, all that stuff, Kung Fu. But he was in the movie fighting Bruce Lee. And the funny thing is, they would show Bruce Lee, right? Bruce Lee has maybe, I think I counted 8 moves. He's got this move, that's 1. He's got this move, 2. He's got that move we talked about, 3. He has this move. That's the one we're gonna work on now. 4, he has the one where he lays on the ground and smacks everybody on the feet, right? That's 5. He has, the slow, 6. Well, I said 8. Let me think of what else he has. I'm doing it right now. The Bruce Lee, I call it the Bruce Lee triangle. It's just a right triangle with the 3 warm-up moves. Remember we did down and up, and then we did over the body, and then we did horizontal. You put those together, and you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And you start going faster, and then you get really close to the camera, and you make that high-pitched scream, which I can't do, but I'll try, or whatever, however he did it. And then they get right close in his face, and he's doing that. And then they go over to, yeah, absolutely, that's why I love them. But then they go over to Dan Inosanto, and he's doing all these crazy tricks, and he's throwing and catching, and he's throwing and catching. I don't know if he threw and catch in his movies, but he's doing the harder hands transfer. Bruce Lee's doing the easy one. This is easy. That's the one that's almost natural. This one's harder because you'll hit yourself in the head so much. And Dan Inosanto's doing this, and he's going back and forth, and he's going between the legs. I haven't done between the legs in a long time. Oh, he's going around the neck. He's bringing it around the back of the hand and around the neck. And then he fights Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee cut back to Bruce Lee, and he's still doing this. Because Bruce Lee was the star, he only had to do the basics really, really well. And that's what's great about martial arts. It's not a criticism of Bruce Lee, but it is giving great props to Dan Inosanto, who had all the mad nunchuck skills that maybe Bruce Lee didn't have the mad nunchuck skills. But he had the pretty face, and he was a great actor, and he was open to everything, like you said. Be like water, my friend, and enter the dragon into the dojo with your nunchucks and practice. And so what's my point? My point is, you can do the basics extremely well, or you can do really complicated stuff. And as long as you do them all with great focus and intensity, it really looks cool. And that's all you need. We're talking self-defense. That's what you need, right? You need to be able to create distance, maybe block. Now, this is a really cool motion. I said we would talk more about Mighty Guy and Rock Lee. And this is a Bruce Lee favorite, but this is also an iconic Mighty Guy, Rock Lee move, picture, an image that I have in my head from that show, from Naruto. And it's just this. It's Look, remember what I said earlier about not smacking the head? Anywhere you point this, that's where this one has to go. I always called this Chuck the Truck, and that Chuck Norris, right? Chuck the Truck was slow. Chuck Norris hard hitting, fast, explosive. Inside joke, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna point Chuck the Truck straight down to the ground, and then my arm is out here. If my arm is here, I have to hit myself. When I swing it back, if it's out here, if it's here, I have to hit myself. So what you have to do is you have to put it out here and bring it like this. Now, see how that just sits there on the side of my arm? This other hand, now you're gonna wanna do this. Almost everybody I've ever taught tries to do this at least once or twice. You wanna go in front of your body, grab it, drop this one, swing this one up. Reach across the body, swing it up. That's why this is the easy one. All I'm doing is I'm letting go here and bringing this one here. Now, almost everybody who does this that I've ever taught it to, and we're all the same, this is what I did at the beginning, is somehow we're inside our brains too much, right? We try to bring everything close to our head. That's a recipe for disaster with the nunchuck. Trust yourself, overcome. That's what martial arts is. Martial arts is self-discipline. It's overcoming your need. Yes, please use it. I probably stole it from someone else. I don't think I did, but I think I did after that silly movie that made fun of all the martial artists who took themselves too seriously. Foot Fist Way or something like that. Reach across, grab it, swing it. Swing it. That's all you're doing. Side to side. Bruce Lee move or Rock Lee move number 6. Then from here, pulling them apart. You need the tension. Keeping tension, keeping tension. You gotta practice this a few times until it makes sense. And then blocking. Think of the ninja sword coming at your head and you're gonna block with the chain. I wouldn't, not for real, but yeah, oh yeah. Straight up. Always block above your head as high as you can. I've been working lately, seeing this a lot again. That's not a good high block. You gotta get it up there. Anyway, block it up there. So it swings back, bring it out slow, and then up. Swing it back slow, and up. And this is just a dramatic move. Now, is there some value in this move? Absolutely. Let's imagine, I wish I had a partner here. Some of you South Florida guys keep saying you're coming over and we're gonna work together, but I haven't seen you yet. And not Master Gary Hernandez, because he's not South, he's on the other side of the state. I'm talking about local guys. See what I do here? Imagine that's a sword, and then you create tension by squeezing. It's almost like a nutcracker. And then you can jerk it out. Or worse for them, imagine that's the bones in their wrist. And then and that hurt, I mean, that much hurts me. You just crank. So let's say the guy's punching straight in your face. And as he comes in, you come up and intercept that punch and you wrap it. And you just squeeze both hands like that for self-defense. He can't use that hand any longer. But that's what that move is for, to catch, twist, and break. You just wrap it, and that's a basic move. So you're gonna learn, you bring it back here, push it out, twist, crank. You don't have to do the twist, crank, but just know that that's where that move would lead. You can block to the side, you can block like any kind of short stick you would block with, or sword or whatever, but that's the basic move. Now, the Bruce Lee triangle. I know I showed you this, but I want you to practice this 30 seconds per hand, because again, I'm gonna have you put these together and do some flow arts with the nunchucks, or freestyle, cardio freestyle, whatever you wanna call it, just so you get really comfortable. Now, I wanna show you the wrist roll, because it's one of my favorite moves with all martial arts. And I'm gonna start here, and all I'm gonna do is turn it in a way that flips to the back of my hand. I open my hand, remember I'm on this one, open my hand, turn to this one, finish. And then you just bring it back the other way, you turn it away, and I'll show you that in a minute. This is gonna wrap up, open, turn, now you're on the other one. So as slowly as I can, let me lower it just a little bit, hang on, I want you to get nauseous. Open, and you bring it back the other way. So you crank it up, 1, 2. And now you're going to have to get a feel for this, and it's not going to work for you right away. And again, let me grab that other chuck. Better yet, let's switch it up a little bit. We've been using this one. We'll talk about these two because there's that string. And now when I said make your own with the 3 strings, I'm not necessarily talking about this kind because this is a very special speed chuck. It goes extremely fast, and this one is for all kinds of quick demonstrations. I haven't used this one in a while. It would take me just a little bit, maybe a couple of practices before I get my skills back with this one. But these are so fun, they're so fast. These are made by one guy. I can't think of his name. Maybe some of you guys know him. And he's an FMA guy and a nunchuck guy. So a lot of the moves with this style, they're a little bit different than the other one. So this moves really fast, but that's wood and it's really light, comparatively speaking. But I wouldn't suggest starting with something like that. Get one of these, what they call, yeah, absolutely. I have to get a pair of Kama. I left mine in Dayton, in Ohio. Kama, Sai, we'll do all of them. Yeah, I don't think I have any Kama. I've done some fan. I got the fans back in. If you want a fan, by the way, I can show you guys, or you can buy a fan. They're really inexpensive, and yeah. Oh, have you guys ever seen the video of Bruce Lee? So this used to have the long one. I'll tell you the Bruce Lee thing in a minute. I cut those with a hacksaw and made it shorter, just because I like a certain length and a certain weight. And these are high impact, extremely heavy. Here in the end is the little light up thing, but you'll see that there's a battery pack. And just that much battery in the end makes these really heavy. And so they're great for cross training, for building that speed and strength on the arm. So these are glow chucks, not glow chucks. Glow chucks are, I never liked glow chucks. I tried to like them. That's a brand, but they have a glow stick and you put it in the middle. I just don't like the way they feel. But this is made by Karate Mart. Uh-oh. There we go. Sometimes you have to hit it, right? But I like these because of the weight. And I like to cross train with them. And these are good if you turn off the lights, you turn down the lights, and you want to impress a bunch of little kids or something, like at a demonstration. All right, so the wrist rolls, the hand rolls. From here, you turn it up, open the hand, and let it go into the other hand, and then you just bring it back. Now I want you to practice picking them up when you drop them, but I want you to practice. Oh, and by the way, if you're not dropping them, you're not learning, right? You should be dropping them over and over again. When I get the wrist rolls and I'm teaching a group in person, I start to hear flop, flop, flop all over the room, over and over again. And I see the look of frustration. I say, you're allowed to be frustrated. You're not allowed to quit. Don't quit. As long as you keep going, you're going to get it. And maybe not today, but when you go to sleep, your brain does some stuff, it heals, and then when you come back to it next week, you're a lot better at it. So allow yourself not to be great at it. Hey, Cal, how you doing? All right, so from here, it's good to see you. Long time no see. We were just talking about Dayton. All right, so you're going to bring it around. Yeah, drop them like they're hotcakes. I like it. The more you drop them, the more that is a sign. That's a sign that you are going to get really good really fast. If you try to not drop them, here's what you'll do. You'll swing them. You'll be swinging them for 30 minutes, thinking about it, thinking about that wrist roll, thinking about that wrist roll, thinking about that, and then you'll never learn how to wrist roll. So you have to actually wrist roll and drop it, and then pick it up over and over and over again, and not worry about what anybody else thinks. So you pick it up, and you do it again, and you do it again. And if you have a variety of nunchucks like I do, practice different times, different days with different nunchucks, just so that you can challenge yourself, because they all have a different spin point. They all feel different when you start to use them. So you just keep going. I don't have any katanas here. I have one boken. I don't really care for it that much, but I can show you the moves with the katana you would do with the boken. And so the answer is yes. I'm starting to train with it again. and I'm gonna do some sword stuff coming up. And I'm also gonna show you the Dao, the Chinese sword of Mulan and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, those swords. All right, so anyway, so we go back around the hand. Then I want you to try this. This is a more advanced move, but since we're talking about manga, anime, Naruto, Mighty Guy, Rock Lee, Bruce Lee, we're talking about really cool things that you see, the Ninja Turtles. I want you to see a move where it comes out of one hand and goes into the other hand. And I want to show you how to get into that. So basically, you're going to work up to throwing it from behind the head. And you see me looking at it, eventually you'll do it without looking at it. It's just been a while since I've done it with these chucks without looking at it. So I'll give myself a break. Catch yourself a break. Work up to it, but wherever you are today, that's where you are today. Don't criticize yourself. Let somebody else do that, and then don't listen to them. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a circle. This is my right hand. Using your right hand, it's going to be a clockwise circle. So old-fashioned clock, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back to 12. You're going to go around the clock the way the second hand sweeps the clock. That's called clockwise. So you're going clockwise, clockwise. You're gonna let it go up here around 10 or 11 o'clock, and then it has to do a full rotation. That means from here, it has to go all the way back around to here. And when you catch it, your palm is gonna be facing down. So you go around, when it gets here, you let it go, your palm is facing up. It's gonna spin in the air, your palm is gonna be down, you're gonna catch it. So it looks like this. Clockwise, you do just 2 or 3, let it go, palm facing down, you're gonna catch it at 1 or 2 o'clock. So there's 12, there's 6. I go around the clock, 1, let it go, catch it here. And you're just gonna do this, 30 seconds. Clockwise, 1, 2, 30 seconds. And then in your left hand, it's just the opposite. It's gonna be counterclockwise. So starting at 12, going backward, back to 12. And you're gonna release at 1 or 2 o'clock, catch it 10 or 11. So now I'm going counterclockwise, right about up here, let it go. And I don't know if you saw it, but again, it has to go from here all the way around back to where it was. So I let it go here, catch it here. Let it go here. And if you catch it somewhere else, as long as you catch it and it doesn't smack yourself in the face, that's important, right? And again, you're gonna drop it. So every time you drop it, you pick it up. 30 seconds with the left hand, counterclockwise, catching it. And when you let it go, again, your palm is facing the sky. It goes out of your hand, does a full turn, and then the other hand, the same hand comes over and from palm up to palm down, catches it. So you're here, let it go, catch it. Then, going back into the first hand, you're now gonna throw with the right, catch or release. It's really about releasing. Release with the right, catch with the left. And it doesn't have to, now becomes easier. Every move from here becomes a little easier. So I go clockwise because it's the right hand. I let it go, and the left hand takes it, but now I'm gonna take it at 11. I don't have to come over here to 1 o'clock. So the right hand, I let it go at 11, catch at 11. And then immediately I'm gonna go counterclockwise, let it go at 1 or 2, catch it at 1 or 2 with the right hand. So let it go with the right, and you can see I'm starting to let it go lower, let it go here, and you'll be able to do that. Start higher, but then allow yourself to go lower as you get a little bit better at it. Then the last thing you have to do is go into a figure 8. Now watch what's really happening. When I come up, I'm gonna turn to the side. Figure 8, this is the left side, which means the opposite of the right. I'm gonna throw it with the right at 11 o'clock, I'm gonna catch it with the left at 11 o'clock. And because I really have 2 circles, I have a counterclockwise circle and I have a clockwise circle. When I'm in the clockwise circle on the opposite side of the body, I'm gonna throw it and catch it with the left. Then I go into the other side, I'm into the other side, and I'm just letting it go. So you're gonna bring it back and forth. 1, 2, 1 on 1, let it go, catch it. And then revert or switch your feet. 1, 2, 1. This is that counterclockwise left hand. Let it go, catch with the right. And then you can start to go hand to hand on every spin. or you can throw in a couple of these, catch, throw in a couple of these, catch, and now we're into flow. Maybe you throw in a couple of these, catch here, pop, throw it, catch it, 1, 2, do a couple of wrist roll, and then throw and catch, under the arm again, spinning out, catching, and you have these basic moves. So that's the way you start to get heart rate up. You start to do the flow or the freestyle, and I'm gonna lower you again, hold on. And basically what you're gonna do, not anymore. You wanna know why? One, I don't ever like to use exercise as a punishment. I love to exercise. I love to do, I'll do push-ups and burpees all day. I'm doing that stuff anyway, and as I've gotten older, I don't need to incentivize myself not to drop it. Like when I was in the Marine Corps, you dropped your rifle, you better follow it to the ground. Whatever they call it, recruit, boot camp. And then you put the rifle in the back of the hands, and you're, and then one of my bow staff instructors, he was a Korean Marine, and he had the same rule. Imagine that. You drop your bow staff, and then the kendo instructor, you drop your sword, or you touch the tip of the sword on the ground, you lean on your sword, you better follow it. And so I grew up with all those rules, and I've done probably, but I never really had the issue of lack of focus with a weapon, because I was so passionate from the start. And I was aware, right? Because I've been around it, or something, I don't know. But the point is, I want more time spinning and dropping. I don't want to disincentivize myself from dropping the weapon. I want to go faster until when I throw it, it's out of my comfort zone, and then I drop it because I'm not, all of them, all the kicks. So like I have a little form I used to teach people to go to contest with or competition with, and we would do this, and then we go 1, 2, 3, and then pop, and then like a jump front kick looks really good if you're doing it in a form. If you're just straight fighting, keep all your kicks low. You can do that. Become more and more of a fan after being a silly critic. That's why you should never criticize things you don't understand. I make that mistake all the time. You bring this foot up, you have that little hard, powerful, that little Jeet Kune Do kick. I forget what they call it. It's just basically a 45-degree angle kick. That kick's been, I've seen that kick for millions of years. And I would see it in a little, the Wing Chun punched. And maybe because I had seen other Kung Fu that was a little bit more flowy or whatever, and I discredited it. I broke my own rules. I had an opinion about it instead of not having an opinion. So I like, if you're fighting with a weapon, boom, and you can smash someone real quick with that little cut, we always called it a cut kick, where you lift your knee, you're squared up, and you just come straight in because it's fast. I also like just a basic front snap kick or a pushing kick. Maybe you're coming in a little bit more aggressively and you push kick. Or from here, boom, maybe a little round kick where you're striking, you're coming through, and bam, you just throw that kick and your shin just shatters their knee to the side. I could have you grab here, smash here, boom, and slam them with a back kick. So the answer is I like all kicks with the nunchucks. If you're doing more showy and fashion, and I haven't really warmed up, so I don't want to go too high. But let's say, I do, in one of the moves that I do have the throw and catch, and then I go behind the neck and around, and as I bring it out, I do a spinning hook kick. Or I teach others to do the spinning hook kick, and that usually gets some positive attention from the judge. Get some good points. When you come around and you're throwing the spinning hook kick, and then you come back around, those are all flashy moves. Not necessarily for self-defense, but if we're talking Bruce Lee, Mighty Guy, Rock Lee, Michelangelo, we're not really talking self-defense so much as fantasy martial arts, but based on practical self-defense. This is a great street fight self-defense weapon, but you're really not allowed to carry them anywhere. So that disqualifies it, because you get caught with it, they take it away. Where you could be carrying your walking cane. If you've seen me any length of time, you know that's one of my favorites. Or even a hiking stick. You could be using your hiking stick, and then that gives you a lot of opportunities to defend yourself. So that's all I've got with this one. I've got a million more moves. I've got so many moves with this one that I want to show you, but I want you to get the basics down first. start with this, start with your strikes, start here, and then immediately go into spinning, palm down. There's that elbow straight so you don't hit yourself. Up and down, you get the figure eight, and then reverse it all. Reverse, reverse, figure eight, reverse, and then go hand pass. And if you get this one where you're pulling it back, go forward. The only thing I'll say about that is that, again, anywhere you point this, that's where this is going, right? If I point this straight up, it has to go straight up. So that's the answer. Point that straight up. And then this one, yeah, for sure. I've landed it in competition against really good opponents and been successful. I've seen lots of people knocked out with it. So it's not that you can't use it. Like a tree growing out of the ground. It has to be perpendicular. Anywhere you point this hand, the nunchuck will have to go. See how I'm pointing at my face? Don't point. And then to make matters worse, almost everybody, when they point this at their face, they turn to look at it, which means that that nunchuck comes right into their eye. I've seen it over and over. And I'll yell, stop, point it straight up. Point it to the sky. Don't point it at your face, and certainly don't look at it. You don't have to see it to know where it is. Feel, right? Do it with your eyes closed. Hold, so your palm is facing up, and then watch. Do you see it go up there? That's the key. You just, it's right there. And that's all, and that's how you keep from smashing yourself in the back of the head and get past this move. Because this move, a lot of people get stuck on because they're so afraid of it. And the only reason that they're afraid of it is because they hit themselves in the eye, which is 100% avoidable if you point that to the sky and you never look at it. As soon as you start to look at it, it's weird. It's like your brain has a magnet. It says, come to me. And then before you know it, there you are, smashing yourself in the head. And then, if you want to, let me give the basic rule of behind the neck. Your other hand goes to the opposite side of your face. Again, something I see all the time, very common. You try it and you put your hand here. And it's going to go around there, which means it has to come back out over here, and you can hit yourself in the face. And it doesn't hurt that much. You feel like it will kill you, but it won't. But remember, back of the hand, across the face, and then as long as you keep this horizontal or perpendicular to the earth, to the ground, and it has to go around and hit into your other hand. Now these are a little bit thicker, so I have to adjust and bring it up a little bit, but that's all that is. As long as this is here, you can be doing 1, 2, 3, and then you throw that up. Almost didn't do it right. Throw it up, and then it comes in here, and you whip it out, and everybody's impressed. You see what I did? I dropped my hand, it hit my ear. But it didn't hurt. That's my point. Put it here, bring it around, put it in your hand, bring it around, 2, 3, go under your hand, go down, under the other one, and then bring it around again. And practice that, and get it behind your head, and learn some cool things. You can learn all this stuff. No one says you can't. And that's the final thing I'll say, and then I'll really go. Don't ever let anybody tell you you're not a martial artist because you're learning online. Not everybody has the ability to go to a school. Either the money's not there or the school is not there. In so many places around the world, there's no martial arts school. Or now, they've closed them all. And even make it worse, second shutdown, maybe you're in Ireland or France or Greece. Maybe you're in Europe somewhere where they've shut down completely. And you're stuck in your house again. And they're killing all the jobs. That's my political thing. They're killing all the jobs. Maybe the schools don't come back. Maybe they're saying in this industry, 40 to 50% of martial arts schools dead forever, right? And so maybe you can't go to a martial arts school. Yeah, in the UK or Chicago in the United States, or maybe you're in New York City or you're in New Jersey or Boston or one of those all. Yeah, and you're stuck at the house. And someone is on some weird Reddit subreddit or whatever, or some forum somewhere saying, well, you're not a martial arts. You go to a McDojo because you're doing it online. And you're saying, but that's all I've got. And it's in here, right? It's like Mr. Miyagi said, the black belt. It's not this. It's in here. It's in here. That's where karate is, or whatever the saying was. But that's true. It's 1,000% true. It's in your heart. It's in your mind. It's in your earnestness. It's in your ability to check yourself and push yourself and let go of your hard thoughts about your inflexible thoughts about how things are supposed to be, because the world is changing at the speed of light. Don't get stuck on your heels, right? You go in a fight, if they knock you onto your heels, the next thing that happens is you're on the ground. Whether it's boxing, you get knocked out, or jitsu, you're on the ground, they're ground and pound, you're doing some MMA. So stay off your heels, stay on the balls of your feet so you can fight. And that means you gotta let go of all of the ways things were before, because it's all changing. Just let it go. And it's not good, it's not bad, it's just different. And stop thinking about like, are we supposed to have to do this and that? Is it right to wear the mask, not right? I don't know, it doesn't matter. You don't have the choice. So since you don't have the choice, they keep taking those choices away from us. Just say, well, that's what it is. I'm still gonna train with my nunchucks. I'm just gonna do it inside. If you just have a little space and the ceiling's really low, bend your knees and practice and still get all your moves in. Find a way or make a way, but don't give up. Keep training, and I'll see you guys in